let's get a message from like a ghost, huh? The sun and the moon. Yeah, we're gonna like deeply illuminate the mystery of like what's slowing your motion, which because it's crazy because you clearly have motion, right? Clearly, look at you, you're so beautiful. Oh yeah, I can tell through the phone. I got powers. Yeah, it's like literally not fair that like your efforts aren't getting you farther. Maybe you need to get a ghost energy drink. I'm joking. Joking. No, but seriously, what is actually like getting in the way of the collective process right now? It's like you're telling yourself a story that's based off of a past situation, and I feel like the story that you're telling yourself is like really negative. Maybe that like you're a failure or something's wrong with you or something's wrong with your process. There's some kind of like thought that does not make sense because you're clearly a star. Like you're clearly there's nobody like you. You're an individual, especially if you're in my collective. It means you're a baddie. It means you're a baddie. So how can we like get our minds in alignment with the reality that we're the coolest people in the world? I don't know. It's a mystery. I'm just kidding. It's my job to reveal the mysteries, right? The mystery in this deck is the High Priestess and others, and there's like this need to allow yourself to align with like your inner nature. There's something about like and I don't know why I shuffled it, but like you might see from it that like the Knight of Teacups, which is the Knight of Cups, was upside down the bottom of the deck, and now we have like the Nine of Hedgehogs on the bottom of the deck, which is a Nine of Pentacles, and that means that like you are unwilling to embrace your emotions, but in reality, your emotions are going to guide you to the places in your life where you don't feel like you have everything you need. And I think there's this degree of letting your emotions like dictate your reality when in reality they should be like handing you a little clue, a little seed with the Ace of Hedgehogs here that allows you to kind of like disseminate your dissatisfaction, and that can like put you onto a path of like a better understanding of the situation. Um, can you help me with a good example of this spirit? Um, Transformation with the Ace of Teacups in reverse. Yeah, I feel like there was a period of your life where you had to suffer some major losses. And I think it's very normal for grief to like make us feel like we can't go on or we don't have the ability to like see past what hurt us. But what you're being asked to acknowledge is how that grief has transformed you into an individual who is like truly capable of freaking anything that you put your mind to. Like low key, you might just be a little tired. I'll be so for real with you because like the transformation from caterpillar to butterfly does not feel good. The dark night of the soul keeps getting brought up because it is not cash money. Very few people embrace that, and instead they kind of like fall back into these narratives where they don't have control of their lives and their situation because it's easier, right? Definitely easier to reject the path and to like move in like a place of conformity. But you made the decision to be a little different. And that's awesome. It's like the unlikely path brings you unlikely power. Oh my God. And you're just like a little precious flower. I think there's also this understanding that like there was a lot of conflict in your life and it might have been hard to see it because it was under the surface. Um, but I think you navigating that conflict has given you a path that a lot of people don't have, right? You have this like amazing new option in front of you. And it's really about like, finding the energy within yourself to take it. And with the Knight of Flowers, it seems like you're a little tired. So why don't you go get yourself a ghost energy drink? This shit is sponsored as heck, bro. But there's other ways to get energy. There's other ways to get energy besides clicking that beautiful orange shopping cart in the corner and buying a case of ghost energy. How else can our collective find what they need in this time? So we got the Page of Spears in reverse, the Ace, the Nine of Teacups in reverse, the Nine of Flowers in the Tower. I think you really need to start investigating that dialogue that you have with yourself about the things that you want, the things that you need, um, your relationship to the challenges you had, and the losses and changes that you faced. Because there's this possibility that you might not recognize that if you just kind of like even just change perspective a little bit and start to see yourself as like the main character and the hero of the story, and everything that has happened to you is what has put you onto a path of fulfillment. Even if it does feel like a little icky, it'll be like everything happens for a reason. Sometimes you gotta like, sometimes these cliches are cliches for a reason, right? Because it will allow you to kind of like transform a lot of these experiences that you felt like happened to you and change the way you moved in a way that you like couldn't control, into like a tool and a platform for you to like succeed and like receive everything that you need. And then it just becomes a point of like your future, being that you like continually speak to the things that you desire, and you see yourself as a creature who is capable and deserving of getting those things. Easy. Easy. You can do that tonight. If you have any trouble with that, you can also like email me or DM me for services. All that stuff is in my bio, Um, and the most important thing to recognize is if you weren't capable of it, you wouldn't have made it this far in this video, this far in life. And so I think you need to give yourself a pat on the back. I was hoping that there'd be a pat on the back card. That one counts. Yeah. Love on yourself because you really deserve it. You went through a lot, and you might have gone through it all without a delicious ghost energy. And I can't imagine what that's like. So I'm proud of you. I'm not going to lie, my body is quivering from this delicious ghost energy drink. Sponsored. Go get you one. And while this is coursing through my veins,